Despite the things you think you know, proceed to test the world and glow.
Hey, I'm Count Jackula. And I'm the Horror Guru. And we just saw Kuso.
Despite the things you think you know, proceed to test the world and glow. Look past the world and see the glow.
I apologize if my response was a little slow there. This movie might have melted my brain.
Yeah. All right. Kuso is an art house gore fest directed by Flying Lotus, a.k.a. Captain Murphy, a.k.a. Steve.
All these things are true, and yet you will have no idea what you're getting into, even with that description.
Yeah, this movie could best be described as Naked Lunch with Trauma's sense of humor.
Yeah. It's got a really gross, nasty, trauma-esque sense of humor. A lot of piss, fart, and poop jokes.
Yeah.
And cum jokes.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, with a David Cronenbergian, almost David Lynchian, like, mindfuckery about it.
Yeah. This movie is designed to fuck with your head.
It is.
Like, that's the primary goal. If by the end of this movie you're like, what the fuck did I just watch? Then the movie has done its job. This thing is not here to inform you. It's here to blow your fucking mind.
And it does.
It does.
The surprising thing is, despite how weird and fucked up it is, it does have through lines.
Mm-hmm.
There are storylines that you can trace. But at first, you're going to be so mesmerized by the bizarreness of what's happening on screen, you might not recognize it until about halfway through.
Yeah. Some things that we could talk about without entering into, like, massive spoiler territory, even though, I'm going to be honest, I don't think spoilers are going to help you. There's no help for you there. This movie's got Hannibal Buress as a pair of trans-dimensional aliens with televisions for faces.
Well, I believe he voiced one of the aliens, and the other alien was a different person, but I don't know who the other person was.
Yeah. Okay.
But he was one of them.
Yeah. Another person that this movie has got is George Clinton.
Yes.
As a doctor who can get rid of your fears.
And apparently performs abortions.
Performs abortions. Yeah.
It's just it's a very specific line of study. I guess.
And he has a receptionist that goes from being a broken English speaking, like, Hispanic drag queen to a blow up sex doll.
That's the kind of weird mindfuckery you have.
Yeah.
Apparently, the entire movie are 4 stories taking place in a post-earthquake Los Angeles.
Yeah, like some sort of post-apocalyptic earthquake Los Angeles.
That just fucked everything up, and there might have been an alien invasion or some shit.
Yeah, there's obviously some sort of plague going around because everyone's got these boils on their faces. Yeah. And that's one of the through lines.
And I'm saying all this, and none of that is spoilers.
Yeah, there's a fair bit of, like, here's some movies that if you liked, you might like this one. Ezo.
Ezo's a pretty good one. Happiness that kind of curries.
Motivational growth.
Yeah, motivational growth. A bunch of Miike films.
Tetsuo the Iron Man.
Yes. Any trauma film.
yeah. Any super gross trauma film. Sergeant
Twin
Kabuki Man's
Peaks.
not good enough. Yeah.
Especially the recent reboot of Twin Peaks.
Oh, yeah.
That total mindfuckery.
Yeah. That fucking season 3, which was just complete mindfuckery, despite the fact that it had a coherent plot.
Music video-esque movies like Wave Twisters.
Yes, absolutely.
If you're a huge fan of all the weird and random disturbing shit Adult Swim sometimes did,
this is going to be right up your alley because I'm pretty sure it's a lot of the same production people.
Oh, you could feel it.
Yeah.
You could feel it.
Yeah.
Like, there are moments, especially with their weird interlude between stories where they would do, like, the weird mind-fucking animation shit. That felt like the kind of stuff they would do on Adult Swim.
Yeah, like when they would do stuff for, like, when Flying Lotus did, like, Captain Murphy and all that shit. Yeah, exactly. It does. It really does. So, right now, the only place you can see Kuso is if you have Shudder.
Yeah.
You can watch it through Amazon Prime as well, but if you have already subscribed to Shudder, You can watch it on Amazon Prime for free by linking those accounts.
Exactly.
You know, right now there's an offer for 7 days free of Shudder. Go ahead and do that.
I highly recommend, if you just want to watch Kuso, go ahead and do that, because this movie is totally worth it if you're into that kind of fucked up movie or that kind of mindfuck movie.
Yeah.
This is
not for the faint of heart.
I often describe movies like a Serbian film or Baskin or The Greasy Strangler as endurance films. How long can you last?
Yeah.
Can you make it through the whole movie? This is absolutely one of those movies, though a little more Greasy Strangler than the other ones.
Yeah. This is more gross than horrifying.
Yeah, that's one thing that becomes very apparent. Like, this movie isn't like, oh my god, I'm scared. This movie is, I think I might throw up.
I think I might, yeah.
Any
I
moment.
like dry heaved like 4 times during this movie. I'm sitting there going like, whoa, okay, all right, I'm good. No need hip pause. I'm good. Woo. Okay,
Yeah, this is
got a little rough.
This is the kind of movie where if you want to earn your fucked up movie card, that card that you can pull out to say, I survived this.
I survived Kuso.
Yeah.
Definitely one of them. Like, I found out about this movie because of Channel Sundown and Amanda from Channel Sundown, and she said she absolutely hated this movie. Like, it was the most pretentious piece of shit she had ever watched. But she said it in that way that made me go, I have a feeling I'm going to fucking love this movie.
And the thing is, she is not wrong. It is super pretentious despite being stupid. Especially like the opening and closing monologues.
Yeah.
Kind of like trying to give like some sort of like deeper meaning to the whole thing.
Yeah, we're fucking Flying Lotus is speaking is on that speaker and shit's going insane.
Apparently that's a guy named Bus Driver.
Oh, Bus Driver.
I was looking that up. Apparently that's a guy named Bus Driver.
Oh shit.
He's a rapper.
Okay, but he's not Flying Lotus.
He's not Flying Lotus.
All
Though
right.
Flying Lotus did most of the music for the movie. Him and the Aphex Twins.
Yeah. So, that's the other thing. This is fucking Flying Lotus with the Aphex Twins doing the music for Flying Lotus's fucking movie. I kind of want to see if he does another movie. I kind of want to watch it.
I would totally watch another movie like this.
If he just decides, if he goes like Takeshi Miike crazy, and it's just like, I got a movie. It's all about a sentient cockroach that has to eat a giant corn turd. It lasts for 4 hours. I'm in.
Well, you know what this movie kind of felt like to me? It felt like when you first watch House of a Thousand Corpses, and you got the feeling that when you watch House of a Thousand Corpses, that Rob Zombie thought he would never make another movie, so he better put everything in this.
Yes. Everything goes in.
That's what this feels like. Like Flying Lotus had to put everything. Every possible idea he ever had that was fucked up into this.
Yes. And in my opinion, it pays off.
Oh, it totally pays off.
It totally fucking pays off. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into Spillers.
Despite the things you think you know, proceed to test the world and glow. Look past the world and see the glow.
Because there's a lot of effluvia in this movie.
Okay, so this movie has 4 plot lines and a bunch of random shit.
Yeah, we've identified 4 plot lines that actually have a beginning, middle, and end.
And they have names at the end.
And they have names, yeah.
We have Royal, which is about this couple in this apartment having really nasty, kinky sex, but for some reason the girl won't let the guy fuck her.
Yeah.
And you're not sure why, and that's the plot.
Yep.
We have Smear, about this little boy in this post-apocalyptic forest whose mom keeps feeding him disgusting shit that he doesn't like, and he has to go to school, and everyone at school makes fun of him.
Yeah.
So he meets this giant asshole in the ground that he smears shit on, and it grants him powers to overcome this.
Yes. Now, that's a rough overview of that plot.
There is a lot that happens there that I left out, but
that's the crux
the
of it.
gist of what I got from that.
And this also does a lot of like Pulp Fiction-esque editing.
Well, yeah, where they kind of link in a little bit.
They link together, and by the end of it, they some of them collide together.
There is Sock about this girl who doesn't have a tongue and has been eating concrete, who is looking for her baby underground, and she's underground,
Yeah.
And the voice of God, which turns out to be a cockroach, tells her to go deeper into this hole into hell so she could retrieve her baby. And by the end of this story, she becomes one of those asshole demons from the other story.
Yeah. This is what we mean. Like, it just fucking collides, and it has such lines as, "Do not fear the feces, for it is your baby." I just said
There's a point where she wakes up and her foot is fused with this other lady, and they're sharing an apartment underground in this rubble. And they're in this weird sitcom scenario where they're fighting over who is the original and who grew off of who. Like,
yeah.
And this just happens randomly in the middle of it.
Yeah, and that's when they're just like, there's a laugh track, and all of a sudden the title of that film, Sock. You know
what that felt like? That reminded me of Too Many Cooks.
Yes, that was a Too Many Cooks moment. Yeah.
Yes.
We were just sort of like, okay, right.
And so she's looking for her baby, and there's this thing underground that's eating people that may or may not also be her baby.
Yeah. May also just be a giant literal pile.
And there's
a
lot of crawling through either esophaguses, assholes, or vaginas.
Yeah, they're kind of interchangeable in this sequence.
And a bunch of psychedelic nightmare sequences in this sequence.
Yeah, there's one about a girl who has two, like, monster roommates.
Oh, God, that's right. Mr. Quiggles.
Yes.
Mr. Quiggles is weird because it's two stories in one. Mr. Quiggles is this girl who's apparently a rapper who has two roommates that are these cosmic entities. One voiced by Hannibal Buress. And they got like these TV faces, and they kind of do like the MTV style like lettering on their faces.
Yeah, it's kind of like if the Teletubbies were hard drug users, and instead of the television being in their tummy, it's in their face. And the face has got the fucking liquid television lips on it all the time.
These guys reminded me like there was something straight out of like Hug Me, I'm Scared, or or Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, whatever that thing is called.
Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Yeah,
they reminded me totally of that. So this storyline goes in two different directions because girl finds out she's pregnant in the bathroom from a guy who raped her, who apparently can talk to her through a toilet. Don't ask. It just happens.
No, it just happens. Yeah.
It just happens. And so she goes to Dr. Clinton to get an abortion, where we're introduced to a second storyline within this storyline about a guy who's afraid of tits. And is going to Dr. Clinton so he can be cured of his fear of tits. And this is where the actual title of it comes into play, because it turns out the way Dr. Clinton saves him from his fear of tits is that he has him sing to his asshole, or more specifically, rap to his asshole, in order to summon out this giant bug monster alien demon thing called Mr. Quiggles.
That lives in George Clinton's
ass. And he's supposed to pull off one of the tendrils and then drink the juices inside. And then he has a psychedelic nightmare of being a little baby and just being surrounded by titties and sucking titties, and titties turn into cocks and cocks turn into titties, and it is like a pure like Yellow Submarine acid trip with tits and dicks.
Yeah. It reminded me a lot of those sequences. Reminded me a lot of Where the Dead Go to Die, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same
with a little bit of liquid television.
Yeah. Like this is like these were sequences obviously put together by someone who puts together like those like fucked up 3D animations where it's like a dude riding another gay dude as a Vespa kind of deal. And you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, it's watching like, oh, like here there's these people, this couple embracing and fucking. Oh no, wait, they're the tip of this dick of this giant monster who's getting fucked from behind. It's And wait, they're surrounded by a mountain of tits, and there's a baby sucking on a nipple. It just happens.
I mention this guy a lot because whenever we get to like truly fucked up movies, my friend Sam Young, who died a few years back, this is a movie he would have loved.
Oh yeah,
he would have loved this movie.
All over this. He would have been all over this.
Oh yeah, he'd been like, Jack, this movie's amazing. What the fuck?
Okay, so I talked about Mr. Quiggles, I talked about Smear, I talked about Royal. What am I missing?
I think
there's a fourth one.
No, I think it's that two of those movies intertwine two other stories. So it's hard to parse out. Like the one Smear kind of dovetails into Sock, and Mr.
Sock.
Quiggles is like two stories that like start branched out and then intertwine. You know, it's this movie.
Mr. Quiggles. I swear there was a fourth story that I.
There probably was. We didn't really go into depth on Royal though, because that goes in places that you can't predict.
So here's what happens with Royal. All right, so turns out the reason why girlfriend won't let boyfriend do anything sexual to her is because she's got a boil on her neck that is alive and talks in a British accent.
Yeah. Hello. Boy.
And so this leads to the boyfriend trying to like cut it off or some shit. And so they get into a fight over this. And then the boil ends up talking him down and convincing him to allow it to perform fellatio on him. And he does.
And it does.
And he fucks the boil on her neck. You get to see it in all its glory. It is on screen. It is magnifique. It is messy. It is gooey. And
you're going to dry heave at least once, I guarantee it.
yeah. And then they have the sex and they have the post-coitus like cuddling and they're like, well, what are you going to name me? I don't want to just be called it. And so he's like, you are Royal. Royal the Boil. This fucking thing ends on a pun.
Yeah, and that's like pretty much the end of the movie, except for like kind of the closeout bit with what was his name again?
But Bus Rider?
Bus Rider. Yeah.
Was it Bus Rider or Bus Driver? I forget.
Bus Driver. I'm pretty sure it's Bus Driver. Yeah. Like it was definitely. I definitely didn't. I assumed it was fucking Flying Lotus because I don't know what Flying Lotus looks like.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone does, actually, when you get right down to it.
Well, I mean, he had to premiere at festivals with this thing, so I guarantee you
somebody does. Okay, yeah, good point. You know, but yeah, it's a pretty good, it's a really good freestyle he does at the end. You know, it does link in with the movie. It's not like just nothing out of nowhere. It is random.
Oh, yeah, and in Smear, for some reason at the end, he smears dog shit on the thing and it just disappears.
Yeah, it dies.
It goes
somehow.
away and he's left alone in the forest with nothing because he's no longer going to school because he abandoned school and he killed his mom, I think.
Yeah, it looks like he killed his mom. Yeah.
So it's a happy story. I don't know. He's got his dog.
So, in conclusion, thumbs up. Your mileage may vary.
Up where is your own guess? You can figure that out.
You got a lot of holes, but I'll say this. Kuso's the shit.
Everywhere.
Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention that I stream on Thursdays at 6 p.m. and on Sundays at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on YouTube, and throughout the week I stream on Twitch, usually playing some horror games. So follow me there. Be here for the stream. Follow me on Twitter so you can get like all the fucking fucked up Count Jackula updates, as well as some random occult porn that I just happened to find.
Keep watching fucked up movies.